Welcome back to Mr. Gard's Maths class. Today's unit will be looking at the circumference of a circle. As you will note on the screen, I have again included a sticky note on the left-hand side of the screen with key bits of information that you need to know, or words that you need to know. They include diameter, radius, circumference, and pi. You'll see I've drawn the little symbol of pi. Now, pi is a really special mathematical number. There are a few numbers in maths where the number goes on forever and has no recurring pattern. It's not like a number that goes 3.14141414 and so on. Instead, this number, as far as we're aware, has no set repeating pattern. There are even competitions to find people that can remember the most number of decimal places that the number for pi has. For a really long time in human history, we've often wanted to know lengths or area of certain shapes, and many of them were able to be proven really early on, as in thousands and thousands of years ago, like the area of a triangle or the area of a rectangle, all of which no doubt you've seen before in previous lessons. Shapes that were difficult to prove included anything with a curve, for example, a circle. While mathematicians could get numbers that were really close to the area or the circumference of a circle. Circumference is the perimeter of a circle. It's just a term that we use for circles. While they were able to get values that were close, they could never get it perfect. And so around 2000 BC, the Babylonians worked out that the value for pi was about 3.125. Egyptians worked out that it was about 3.16 by doing the mathematical fraction of 256 divided by 81. Archimedes got pretty close. Euler got pretty close. But it wasn't until much further down the track and more recently that we've been able to get the value for pi to thousands and thousands of decimal places. Now you might be wondering, what is pi? Well, if you look down in the bottom left-hand corner, it is a funny looking symbol. Commonly, we can draw it as I have here, sort of two vertical lines with a slanted or a horizontal line across the top. Do not get it confused with a meat pie or an apple pie. The symbol pi is simply pi, whereas a meat pie is PIE. Now you might be wondering, what actually is pi? Well, pi is a simple multiplication, or a number that you need to multiply the diameter by to work out how far around a circle is. For a really long time, people knew that the diameter, this green part of the circle, the diameter is the longest part across a circle. So it's got to go through the center. The radius is the yellow line from the center to the outside. Here we're going to initially just talk about the diameter. People knew that the diameter, there was 3 of them got around the outside of a circle. The only problem was there was a little bit left over. So one of these diameters might go to about there, the next one might go to about there, and the third one might go to about there. And what you found is there was always a little bit left over, and that's what made it difficult. As mathematics improved, we determined that the value for pi was actually about 3.1415, and it goes on for a really long time. Now, depending on how accurate you need to be, can depend on how many decimal places that you include. For a lot of what we do at this level of maths, we can refer pi as being 3.14. Now that's not super accurate. Sometimes you might be asked to make it 22 divided by 7. Calculators have a pi button, and if you click that button, it will use all of the decimal places, so you can get a really accurate value for it. Some of the questions that you end up doing will ask you to use one of those 3 values for pi, whether it's the calculator value, or 22 divided by 7, or 3.14. Just do what you've been asked to do. Now the radius, that yellow line there, is actually half of the diameter. 2 radiuses make the diameter. So one goes that way, one goes the other way. It is equal to the diameter when you have 2 of them. So over on the right hand side of the screen, I have your golden rules. The top one and the bottom one are probably your key ones that you need to look at. This guy and this one. The first one, the C represents circumference. So the circumference equals pi, which is that number, multiplied by the diameter. The bottom one is C for circumference equals 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r, the radius. So sometimes if you only know the radius, we can use this bottom formula down here. That's because we have this 2 times r, which is 2 times the radius. That is the same as the diameter, as mentioned earlier. Hopefully that has cleared up how to determine the circumference of a circle. It is really important that you include or you write down these golden rules, as they are really important in helping you remember. You will most likely be given the formulas, but it's also very handy to remember these 2 formulas, as they will crop up a lot in your maths. Thank you for listening.